So I got my first Daiwa spinning wheel after all these years. Isn't that great? And what do I like about it? It is smooth. I mean, I've heard from friends how smooth it is. It's definitely smooth. And I call this part of the sub $100 class because they're getting all, it's like Shimano, they're throwing in all those beautiful high end characteristics of the higher end models into the lower models. And, I really can't speak much about this unit until I try it because it's my first time for Daiwas in like forever. But first off, I'm a saltwater guy, so I love the handle. The handle here is a T, but it's a flat T. See that? Flat T is not rounded. So, when your hands are wet, it's easier grabbing. So, I would not, because I'm not freshwater, I would not go with the flat eye knobs, which are like Septon knobs for Shimano. That's not my style, but it's already starting off pretty good. This body is that new body they're calling a Zaion body, which is that new combination of resins and carbon. So it's supposed to give it rigidity but flexibility at the same time. So it helps lower the rate, so it lessens the need of metal. But of course, you're going to need metal for the spool. Everything is lightweight and tough. It has encompassed the Air Drive Rotor with the bail system. Not bad. So and plus it has the automatic drag to aluminum handle. I mean, this is basic, the black with the gold, but I like it. Oh, it does have an anti-reverse switch. See, it does have one. So it doesn't, line does not back up and engage. Or when you click it, that's more for free spooling like dead or live baits. Okay. So the carbon resin graphite body helps maintain the drag stack under the load of a hit. So that means there's no bowing. So it remains the integrity of the reel. And that helps steady what they call the air drive rotor and bail system. I'm still learning all this technology myself. It's basically similar technology shared throughout all the companies, but each company has their own designation for it. So I have to get used to their designations. So normally what I do, like I'm going estuary areas, I'm going jigging, light plugging along the shoreline, even the oceans. And what I'm doing is I'm using about, I would say, average 9.5 to 10-foot rods that are rated up to 1.5, some up to 3 ounces. So I've been, I would say if I stuck to jigs, I'd be using 4K reels. But now that I'm starting to get a little bit more, I guess, used to what I'm doing and trying to venture out a little bit more, I'm going up to the 5Ks because the 5Ks are basically the same as the 4Ks. The difference is how much line it can take. And I tell you, I looked at the stats in this one. Boy, this takes a hell of a lot more line than the 4K. So the bearings is 4+1. So it's not bad. I mean, it's good because you're going to need that, right? And the gear ratio is 5.2 to 1. So every one turn this makes 5.2 rotations. Line per crank, 34.5 inches on every crank. And you would expect the weight to be over 10 ounces because it's a 5,000, but it's actually under. It's 9.5. So a lot of the companies nowadays, they're getting away from the metal. They're going to their resin and graphite composites. So as long as it gives some bowing, but rigidity, that's great. Max drag, 26.4 pounds. I've noticed something with the Daiwa reels. A lot of the sub $100 reels, the 4Ks and the 5Ks especially, they all have this very, very high max drag, which is kind of impressive because it's trickling down a lot of the features from the higher end reels into the lower end reels. Now, monoline, 360 yards for 10-pound test. Now, like I said, I'm used to the 4,000. These are the 5,000 reels. And I tell you, that's a huge increase. I'm not sure what the percentage is. It's a huge increase in how much line this can hold. Now, if I up it to 20 pound, it's 160 yards. But if you're gonna go 20 pounds, you might as well go all the way up to the 6,000 rather than the 5,000, right? Because you're gonna get more line capacity. Makes sense, right? Now, 14-pound test line, you can get 250 yards on this. But if you're gonna go that route, you might as well go back to the mono 10 pounds because the 360 is pretty good. So you just have to match it up with a decent rod, like say something around 10 feet. It's going to have a little bit of a give, so the fish will tire itself out and let the line yardage do the rest. But I'm going to go braid. 15 pounds is 320 yards. 320 yards, that's a lot. But, I'm not going to go 15 pounds in this one because I would rather go 20. I really like 20-pound test because 20 pounds throughout the years has done very well for me. So with 20-pound test, do you know how much line I can get on this? 280 yards. I mean, wow. I think that's like, if I was to compare this to the 4,000, that's a hell of a lot of line. So that's my quick review of the Daiwa REVROS 5,000. I mean, this is my first. I'll let you know how it'll do in the field. And I'm going to go ahead and spool some line on this right now. And I think I'm going to go with 20-pound braid. Thanks. Okay, guys, I'm going to be using my fish on spooler that I got from Brandon Rogers. This is a good unit here to spool your own reels with. I've been doing this for years for all of my reels. And I'll be using Soft Steel brand. This is 20-pound test in a 1,500 yard spool. Hey, guys, wow. This took more than I thought. It's rated, okay, 20-pound test line is braid is supposed to be rated for 280 yards. It's not even full to the top yet, and I've already went over 300 because I'm using this brand here, Soft Steel, very small diameter for 20 pound. So I'm gonna call it quits at over 300. I still got a ways to go, but that's more than enough. And I'm sticking to T-knobs. See, this is a flat. You also got the wide ones. But I'm a saltwater guy. When I get a hit, I need to hold on. Really hold on for power. The eye knobs are not going to do it. I have to stick to the T's.